Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of the deluxe Parasaser. I'm such a good reviewer. I know all the names and all like the hip lingo, and I know how to pronounce it. But anyway, this is from Power Rangers Dino Force Brave, which is the Korean-made sequel to Kyoryuger, but with a Power Rangers name. I've said that like in a really weird advertising way in the last few reviews, but it is kind of a weird thing to explain. But anyway, this one's pretty unique. Wow. Unique. It belongs to the Green Ranger, and it is a remold of the Black Ranger Zord from Kyoryuger, Kyoryu Blacks. And I think it's the most significant change, possibly tied with Cannon Tira. Cannon Tira is actually a very simple change. It's basically just a helmet with a cannon on it. But I think this guy and Cannon Tira are the most noticeably different, that have an entirely new personality to them for me. But I think he's technically the most overall change, since there actually is something to him that makes him quite a bit different. But we'll start off with the Judenchi just so I don't forget it. So let's just kind of move him to the side. Focus on his Judenchi here. It's number 4. And there we go. So you can see they kind of added a little bit onto the dinos. Picture there. Again, I think that these... Whoa! I didn't mean for that to happen. I think that these little bits are kind of lazy. They're just very tacked on, like a really basic Photoshop. There's the Brave in and out. Name on the back. Let's take a look at the noises. Oh, it's already open. I'm an idiot. See, that's exactly what I said, guys. Totally. I said it. Okay, attack noises. And those are the same noises you'll basically get by putting it in the mecha. It's just the name and the sound. Just real quick, we'll show off a double sound because we got time. Or not, apparently. There we go. And as you know, if you switch them around, it'll just change the emphasis. Alright, so we're going to need these two for Western sounds here in a minute. But let's go ahead and take a look at the main event. Like I said, he is quite different. I really like the look of him. And he's probably one of the more things I was excited to get from this, because it is something kind of new. And like I said in the previous reviews, specifically, that's a great word. Specifically the last one, I just really like the primary white with the accents. I think it looks really cool. And if you can't tell, this is basically Parasagun, and then they added this bit to the top, which is a little new mold. But all of this is the same. You can recognize it. But like I said, this was the most significant change, and I really wish that they had... That was a spoiler alert, man. No, but they had... I'm trying to think where I'm going. Oh, there we go. That they had done this with more of them. Like, I don't know exactly what they would have done. This is like one of those classic cases where I really would have loved for them to do something, but I don't know how they would have done it. But it would have been really cool for them to do something like this, where they still managed to use an existing mold to save money, but added something to it to make it really different. I mean, you can still tell if you really look at it, but it's still pretty neat. So as you saw already, that pops out just like Judenchi in there. Just press the button down and that pops open. It's the same exact laser gimmick as it has. I'm going to keep that in there and use that for the transformation because it's going to make things easier here in a minute. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Just take a look here. Here is its source, Parasagun. So you can see there they cut off the head and gave it this whole new piece here. So, but the bodies are all the same. But it's still just, I like that quite a bit. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure how they would have done it for the others. Maybe not necessarily all of them, but just creatively it would have been really cool to see what they came up with to use the others as a base, but actually make it something more new. Like, I'm not entirely sure if this had came out during Kyoryuger if I would have known. Like, I guess if this had existed, but like if this didn't exist, you know what I mean? That they adapted it from something else. I think it's pretty cool. And see, it just pops off right here, so you can have a weird, eyeless, balding Parasagun, but there's the little piece, if we can get the camera to focus on it. There we go. It looks like a little dragon. But yeah, it's neat. I really like it, is what I'm trying to get at. I think that's really cool, creative use. One of my more favorite things out of the line. Okay, so we're going to get him ready to combine with Brave Tyanno King. And it has a Western mode also, so we're going to be doing that all together. So just like the other one, slide it up, slide this up. They share the same base mold ideas with Raptor. Fold these in, and then fold this out, pop that up, and that's ready. We already got Raptor ready. Let me just get its Judenchi in. That's just blurry. Look how, man, that's blurry. Okay, so the reason I'm doing that and using different ones than usual is because we're gonna need to do the sound thing where we lock in the sounds for this, and this just makes it so much easier. So there's a good chance I might mess up the order of this, but it's going to make the same jingle at the end regardless. So let's make sure you're on, you're not on. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So okay, so lock that one in, lock green in. What I mean by messing it up is it might not go in the right order when I dock them in. And then cannon tier to finish it off so that it can just stay in there. So you got your Kyoryuger noises. Oh, it did do it right. Oh yeah. Don't forget to shift this around, otherwise you won't be able to put it on there. So there you have that, and if you press it again, it'll just make the same sound. So yeah, it's pretty neat. As I mentioned in Raptor's review, I just prefer the way it flows in its regular mold. Not too dissimilar from the original Kyoryuger, where I was fine with Western. I actually probably like this Western a little bit better because of the overall, like, more cohesive color scheme. But still, I just prefer to display it in the other mode. But this one's honestly not bad, and I like that you get different sounds for it. I like the way this weapon looked, as I mentioned in the previous review. I really do dig this one, even though it's also very samey to the original. Twisting this around and giving it almost like a dual cannon mode I think is actually pretty neat. So I kind of dig that, and it's kind of a more subtle way to make it a little bit different while still making use of the same stuff. But yeah, overall, that's about it. Specifically to this guy, I actually really like him. And if you're collecting these, and for whatever reason, like, you just can't get Western right away, or don't want to, or care, if I had to pick one or the other, definitely pick this one up. It's really a unique thing to have. I really dig it. It's just, maybe it's just me, but I just like how unique it is to make something new out of something old, truly, instead of just repainting it and shoving a saw blade on there. I think it's really neat. Yeah, so if you have to get one other than the main mecha, I'd recommend this one just because it is very unique. And if you happen to get both, you can do Western, and that's like minutes of fun too. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, this is Dawson Rider signing out. I think I said that backwards, but I'm signing out all the same.